The winner's bracket, or rather, this is I don't know what you call it. This is the game between the winner of the loser's bracket and the winner of the winner's bracket. So it's the grand finals. I'm in the loser's bracket. Pat's in the winner's bracket. So I need to win 2 in a row. I'm playing Maxx. He's playing Butchershop. I open up to a hand of what is it? Sure Gamble, Parasite. Sure Gamble, Parasite, and things that aren't economy. I think I shipped this one. Oh no. Let's see. Let's back up because I thought I remembered mulliganing this game. I might have kept it because of an I had worse. It's pretty difficult to see. Parasite, Deja Vu, Gamble. Yeah, I must have mulliganed to this hand because it's bad. It's a very bad hand. All it's got for econ is Sure Gamble. Parasite's pretty weak against NEH. And he's got like a pretty great start, just like hedge fund, install ice. So I think I'm going to spend my first few clicks drawing. I draw a levy, which is like pretty much as useless as all the rest of the crap that I'm expecting to see for this game. I check the Jackson Howard over there. Just want to make sure he's not trying to sneak Astro on me, which I'll do every once in a while. I also had like pretty much nothing better to do because my hand was garbage. So after drawing a card and all that, I just take a credit. Like, it's just too important against Butchershop to stay up on money. And because I have such an econ light hand, I can sort of be in trouble. He's sitting on Breaking News and Sand, so he can definitely use that to leverage, a potential remote kill if I'm not fast enough. I double mill, and I draw Queen's Gambit, which is going to prove useful later in the game, but it's not quite good yet. And then I click to draw and find a Daily Cast, which is perfect. I just play Daily Cast and Clone Chip. The other option is to discard a card and not play Clone Chip and then just click for a credit. But I think Clone Chip is like a good enough card that it was worth playing. Obviously, I could discard like Parasite or Yogg or Deja Vu or something here. But I do like keeping a Deja Vu against Butchershop because, especially after milling the I've had worse, because if I end up like putting myself in a position where I can be dead to Breaking News kills, having the I've had worse in hand is pretty important, especially if I'm dead especially if it's a Scorch kill, because obviously that protects you most of the time, and even if it's a traffic accident kill, it's going to protect you some of the time. And in some situations, it's better to let them have the Breaking News and attempt their kill when you have I've had worse in hand, rather than score the agenda and get pretty much surefire midseason. So then I mill both other I've had worse. So all 3 are in the discard now. So sort of glad I kept the Deja Vu. And then he makes a remote. So I have 9 money here, and he's got 10. So I don't really have a way of making money fast, except for Queen's Gambit, which I can't, obviously make the run and Queen's Gambit if it's an agenda. So I've got to like basically count at this point. I do make the run on the remote to try and see what the res is. The reason why I do this is because if he is setting up like, Breaking News or Astro, or he's trying to, force me to run a remote, he can put a lot of pressure on me, and I'm not prepared for it if that's an Astro. I'm going to need to start like running centrals and stuff, which means I'm going to end up face checking pop-ups and Gutenbergs at like a credit loss, which is going to put him, sort of far ahead. But since he reses the Data Rave and I can just bounce, he doesn't have that much money anymore. So then I res or run Archives to get him to use Jackson Howard now that he's only got 6, and I'm like sort of safely out of midseason range. I still don't want a Queen's Gambit here. I think this could be an Astro. But if it is an Astro, I can't afford to run through Data Raven to get it. And after running Archives, I see mid-seasons in the mid, so this pretty much informs me like 100% that he's got another one in his hand. So he's going to take his turn after I think I just like click for credits or something, trying to stay ahead on the money race. Maybe I draw 1 card and click for a credit. We'll see what I do. I guess that was my whole turn. I don't really. Oh no, I run R&D. Realizing that I can still beat mid-season trace through a pop-up window, so I just take my free access where I can get it, and then I take my credit. Thankfully, it wasn't pop-up on R&D, but I feel like I'm behind enough this game that I need to like start taking pokes. It's really important as Maxx against Butchershop to steal one agenda without getting mid-seasons. That will allow you to get into an end game where you can make like a really deep medium run turn on R&D, floating tags through Data Raven and Gutenberg. If you're getting into R&D for functionally free because you're floating tags, you can see a whole lot of cards. If you got medium in the discard, clone chip in play, imp in play, Grimoire in play, you can see like, over 10 cards. And often Butchershop is like going slow because you're preventing them from scoring, and they're shuffling agendas back with Jackson, and they're pretty dense. So if you can just get one agenda, I think that puts you in the positive if you can set up a tag floating medium run turn, like a turn where you get up to 5 counters on medium by starting with 1 and not spending a click to play it. So I saw a Sansan on the top of R&D. So when he installs here, what I think it is I think it's a Sansan. Because he didn't score an agenda out of that remote or res a DBS or a patch campaign or anything, I'm working on the assumption that it's not Astro and it's not Beal, which means that it's either Sansan or Breaking News. Because he installs here and he just drew a Sansan, I'm thinking that it's probably a Breaking News that was there in the first place and then a Sansan that was installed next. It turns out it was the opposite, which I did consider was a possibility, but I didn't. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Now it's a sense. Now I'm like 100% sure, pretty much, it's Sansan Breaking News. So I check R&D again while I have the credit lead, and now I've got to think. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm doing math, figuring out if he can kill me if it's Sansan Breaking News, and he can't. He needs to like res Sansan, score Breaking News, and then he's only got 1 credit left, which means that he doesn't have enough to play Scorched Earth. So I can spend this turn being a little slow, and it's not that big of a deal. I just take money. Still having drawn like no economy cards, it's just too important to stay ahead in the money race in this matchup. It's pretty much like the only thing that they can do is like leverage the midseason threat against you if they can't score their Astro. And I'm working on the assumption that he doesn't have an Astro there. I'm pretty sure it's Sansan Breaking News. So I just let it go one more turn. If he wants to score an Astro, he actually goes pretty low on money. But he gets a sweep, which is pretty much the worst thing that could happen. I'm just like, geez, that's good. And then he just plays another sweep. I'm just like, what? Must be real nice. So now he's like pulled basically all the way ahead on credits. Okay, so here's the situation I'm in. I already thought that was Sansan Breaking News, which it actually is. That means that if he's got like 2 kill cards in hand, he can get me. I'm up to, I guess, 15 credits here, and he's on 16. I kind of need to go get that. Despite the fact that there's a Data Raven, and I can't do anything about it, I just run into it. So, I play my Imp. Imp's there to, first and foremost, imp an agenda if he doesn't pump the Data Raven trace, so I can play around the mid-seasons, and I'm pretty sure that he has. You can also think about imping the Sansan instead, but I was thinking I was going to imp the agenda, because he can just like replay another Sansan potentially, or just advance it once even. So I run into this Data Raven. I'm now on 15 credits, I guess, or no, 13 credits, and he pretty much goes balls deep getting this Data Raven token, which I think is maybe a mistake that loses him the game. I'm not sure what the right number to put this trace is. It might just be 3, honestly. It's possible that pumping it isn't very good. The problem with pumping a ton of money into it is, yeah, you get the tag, but you paid a whole lot for it, and it pretty much turns off the mid-season threat. Yeah, he just gives me the Data Raven tag for encountering while he thinks about it. He's got. I'm not sure exactly what his hand is. I think it's like it looks like it's like Scorch, Midseason, Sansan, something. There's no updated explanation of timing windows that goes beyond the rulebook. The rulebook's pretty comprehensive about timing windows, I think. All right, so what he ends up doing is I think he pumps this trace for. So I'm at 13. It looks like no, maybe I'm at 15. Yeah, I guess I'm at 15. And then he pumps the trace plus 13 to put it to 16, which is just the unbeatable amount, and gets his Data Raven power counter. And then I'm going to go ahead and access. I access Sansan, and I actually choose not to trash Sansan at this point. I'm not 100% sure the thing that's installed in the new rumor isn't an agenda. But I am sure that he's very far off of resing Sansan at this point, having spent down to 3 money. So I'm going to not imp the Sansan. I feel like because he's got the Data Raven counter, his much better avenue to victory is the Kill You plan. Just like try and double Scorch the win. So instead I just leave the Sansan. I access the Sansan first because, like I said, I thought that the breaking news came out first rather than the Sansan because I saw the Sansan on top and then he installed it. So I got that wrong. Access in the wrong order. Not sure if I would have trashed the Sansan if I accessed it second. But because I, access the breaking news or whatever, I'm just going to steal that. Obviously, it's way far off mid-seasons. And then I just remove the one tag on my last click, and then I Deja Vu for an I've had worse. This way, if he has double Scorch in his hand already, he's not likely to kill me with it. It looks like he's got Traffic Scorch, but no double Scorch. So now I'm basically in a race against double Scorched Earth. And what I do is I just clone chip out my medium. I run R&D. I know that's not a pop-up window, so I take this opportunity to start racing him. I think he purged that turn. He might have purged my imp. Because obviously he's got Scorch in hand, and when he purges the imp, that means that, I can't, while I'm running R&D or running HQ while he's poor, I can't go trashing his Scorched Earth, which would be pretty detrimental to him now that, he's rich and I'm not. And I just, so this turn, I know he's not resing whatever it is that's on R&D. So I get to medium and get a whole lot of counters on it, which puts me, I think, pretty squarely ahead. Still a pretty dangerous spot for me because I can die, but he can't traffic accident me because he's only potentially got the one tag off the Data Raven. And, he can't double Scorch me without probably hitting I've had worse. He just goes ahead and looks through my discard. I guess he's thinking about the best way to kill me. He does have Jackson in hand now, so yeah. He goes up to 3 credits and then purges. That just informs me that the ice that's on R&D is, something that you can res with 3 credits. So I run and check it. Nothing that costs 3 credits is, terribly punishing. The worst case scenario, I guess, is, Eli. And I think I click this. I'm not really sure if I click it. The trouble with clicking it is, I know the top card of R&D, so it's, sort of just to get 1 medium counter, which isn't, it's far from nothing. The question is whether I have something that's that much better to do, and I think maybe I bounce and play Queen's Gambit here. Because I am potentially tagged, I can't really go deep on playing Liberated account without clicking it a whole lot of times, so I can't click up and then play Liberated account. It's sort of a weird tempo thing for me. I actually end up discarding the Liberated because I think that it's going to be too slow. I just go and check, I'm on game point now, so I'm going to go check HQ. Unfortunately, there's the pop-up window, which is the one that I didn't want to see. And then I see a Scorched Earth. So yeah, I know that there's a good chance that he has 2. Obviously, he definitely has 1. Which I thought he had 1 before because he was setting up, breaking new Sansan. So no surprises there, really. So I guess click 1 was run HQ. Oh no, and then I trashed the pad campaign. So it was run R&D, run HQ, draw a card, trash the pad campaign. I really don't want him getting up on money, because right now I'm 100% safe from double scorch just because he can't pay for it. Also, the longer I keep him off money, the harder it is for him to defend R&D. Because I've had worse and he's got the double scorch kill, what you've got to realize here is as Maxx, you're in this position where you're protected from double scorch, but only for a limited amount of time. As soon as you run out of cards in your deck, your I've Had Worse gets turned off. And if you levy, you lose your I've Had Worse and can just die to double scorch anyway. So despite the fact that it looks like I'm somewhat safe, I'm actually on a pretty hard clock here. He just, I think, takes some money and makes a new install. And I think he's thinking about what to discard here. The money is close again, so midseason is back on. He's thinking about pitching this traffic accident. I guess the question is, like, he's got money, he's got traffic accident, he's got scorched earth, he's got mid-seasons, and he's got ice. But he can't keep them all. I don't really see what he discards. But, you know, it's kind of whatever. I discarded Liberated at the end of my last turn because I thought I wouldn't have time for it. This is a new card, so I'm going to click through Eli to see it. It's a Cybernetics Virus Suite, which is pretty painful. Obviously, it's like kind of like the last thing you want to see here. And then I just click up money for my last click. Getting to a spot where I'm closer to dying. My deck's getting small. I probably should have counted my deck here. Oh, and damn, there's the Beal right on top. So, missed that one. It's just slightly off. He draws into a wraparound, which is actually pretty good for defending R&D, it looks like. I do have the Corroder in hand. He just installs wraparound and takes 2. Mill Katie, Mill Stimhack. Draw same old thing, which, you know, gives me the option to levy later if I really want to. I think I saw the wraparound earlier on a medium dig, so I thought that that was there. So I have the option of just like playing Corroder and running R&D. I might do that here. No, I don't play the Corroder first. I think I want him to get him to res wraparound. I think that's actually somewhat good for me. So I just get him to res. This is probably where I should be counting my R&D to get it in a multiple of 3, because it actually makes a pretty big difference. If I don't have exactly 3 cards in my deck or more, then the I've Had Worse is turned off at that point. So it's pretty important that I actually get there. And I end up ending this game with 2 cards in my deck, which is pretty much exactly what I don't want to be doing. I'm not sure if I click to draw anymore, but if I ever do, it's a pretty crucial mistake, I guess. Yeah, C-Speaker, I was actually thinking about you know, playing a resource to try and get him to use the counter. But the thing is like, I actually don't need that much more money to win the game at all. And I thought that if I, like, say, played a Liberated account and, like, I don't know, maybe it's better. You could be right. And then I also like the idea of Parasite on the Data Raven. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a little slow. It's only going to get him to purge once. So it's like pretty much like pay 2 and like, yeah, I mean, it's going to get him to purge once. And then the other problem with getting him to purge once is if I have Parasite on 3 and Medium on anything, then the purge is just really attractive anyway. So I do come into R&D, click through the Eli, pay through the wraparound. He plays a hedge fund, and then he's going to Data Raven R&D. This is unfortunate. Like, I really can't deal with 2 tags. And then he installs and draws. I've got 5 cards left in my deck. So this is, I think, the first time I count. Probably bad. I run into the Data Raven. I think I bounce here. This is click 1, so I guess I could have taken the tag, remove the tag, click 4, click through Eli, pay 1. I have 6 left, which is just enough to beat the Trace. But I wouldn't be able to steal any PD if you pump money into the Trace. And then I'm broke and probably dead. So probably a wise bounce here, I guess. And then I just take 3 credits. I know. I think I know at this point that that next turn is my last turn if I don't levy. So I need as many credits as I can get to make multiple medium runs because I'm gonna have to pay through Eli here. Oh, it looks like the top card of the deck wasn't any PD. He installs, draws, and looks like he's got another Eli. Yeah, it probably would have been good to put another Eli on D. I'm not really sure. He just draws with Jackson and pitches. So here I am, 2 cards left in my deck. I have the same old thing. So I have like pretty much exactly 2 options. I can either play Imp from my hands and just run R&D twice, or I can levy. If I levy and he's got double Scorch, and I don't find the iPad works, he's killing me next turn. I only got 1 click after levy to draw it. So that seems pretty bad. I'm on game point. I can see at least, I think, seeing like 5 cards on R&D with this run. So I play Imp, I go to 10. I run, I float through Data Raven, pay 5 for Wraparound and Eli, give him the counter, take a tag, go out medium, run a little fast, he wants me to explain it. So the way that I do this is, I play the Imps, that way if I miss on the first medium run, I can Imp something and then see an extra card in the next one. I can't afford to get into R&D 3 times with 12 money anyway, so I figure I might as well do it this way. I think this is a somewhat big mistake. He's got 2 Jackson Howards in play. He uses the first Jackson Howard to shuffle in the Cyber decks along with 2 non-agendas, leaving 2 agendas in the discard. He should have just shuffled in 3 non-agendas. The trouble with shuffling in the Cyber decks here is I've got an extra click. Click 1, Imp, click 2, run R&D, click 3, run R&D, and then click 4, I have basically nothing to do. So by leaving agendas and not CBS in the discard, this allows me to run Archives on click 3 and force him to Jackson in a bunch of agendas. If he left CVS in the Archives, and I do decide to go run Archives on the 3rd click, and I just wouldn't because I know CVS is there, and that would purge my medium and give me a much worse shot. I'm only seeing 1 card instead of 3 on the final R&D run. So that's definitely a mistake. Turned out not to matter because I think I just take it on this first run. Imp a traffic accident, and that's game. Astro. There's a few other games. I had another game recorded. I had a match recorded against